Check out carmarshal.com. The link is in the description. They help support us.
Mayor calls for immediate legalization of all drugs, including heroin, to fight overdose epidemic. Showing how the war on drugs has only led to more harm and more overdoses, the mayor of Vancouver is now making a push to decriminalize all drugs. By John Vibes, March 10, 2018. Vancouver Mayor Gregor Robertson issued a bold press release which called for the legalization of all drugs, even drugs like heroin and cocaine. The statement pointed out that 365 people died from overdoses last year in the city of Vancouver, and the mayor blamed drug prohibition for this problem. We are witnessing a horrific and preventable loss of life as a poison drug supply continues to kill our neighbors, friends, and family. Volunteers and first responders are working around the clock to keep people alive, but lives are on the line and more action is urgently needed. We will keep pushing for bold solutions, and that includes breaking down the stigma that leads people to use drugs alone at home, addressing access to a clean supply through drug testing equipment, and dramatically improving a range of treatment options like opioid substitution therapy, Robertson said. The mayor went on to say that there are over 100 medical calls in the city every week relating to overdoses and suggested harm prevention methods instead of punishment. The statement gave the following list of recommendations for changes to the city's drug laws. Convene a multi-sectoral task force to implement immediate decriminalization of personal possession of illicit drugs. Rapidly roll out funding for evidence-based treatment programs. Support the scale-up of innovative programs that provide access to safe opioids for those most at risk for overdose. Support the destigmatization programs that are co-led by people with lived experience of substance use. Continue to roll out innovative overdose prevention services in areas where users remain isolated. For the past several years, the city of Vancouver has faced one of the worst heroin problems in North America, which has made them more considerate of unconventional methods. The city has managed to save thousands of lives through the opening of safe injection sites, which allow heroin addicts to use with clean needles under the supervision of medical professionals. The safe injection sites in Vancouver have become a model for the rest of the region, with some sites even beginning to pop up in the U.S. Last month we reported that the city of San Francisco was in the process of opening one of the first sites in the country, and health officials there said that they were looking to Vancouver as an example. Laura Thomas, the California State Director for the nonprofit Drug Policy Alliance, referenced the sites in Vancouver in an interview with Fox 59. "I'm really excited. I've been working on this particular issue for over a decade. There are over 120 of these around the world at this point, and they all operate on the same basic idea. You show up, you check in, you use your drugs, you hang out for a while, interact with the staff and then go on your way," Thomas said. One of the biggest supervised injection facilities in the world, certainly in North America, is Inside in Vancouver, British Columbia. There's a nurse's station in the middle of the room that has all of the syringes, sterile supplies that they may need, and then they go through the usual process of preparing their drugs and injecting them, all under the supervision of trained staff. It certainly wouldn't be the first time that San Francisco has prioritized the health, safety, and well-being of its residents over state or federal law. Times have changed. The biggest threats we're seeing aren't crack houses in urban neighborhoods but overdose deaths and people injecting on the streets, she added. It is unclear how Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's government will react to these policy recommendations. Despite his support for legalizing cannabis, he has repeatedly said that his administration has no plans of doing the same with other drugs. "We're not looking at decriminalization or legalization of any other drugs other than what we're doing with marijuana," Trudeau said in an interview with Global News in Vancouver last year. These sentiments were shared by Health Minister Jeanette Petitpas-Taylor, who recently said, "We are not looking at decriminalizing or legalizing any other drugs aside from cannabis, as decriminalizing would not ensure quality control of drugs, and there would still be the risk of contamination on the streets." Certain areas of the world, like Portugal, Where all drugs have been decriminalized, there are far fewer overdoses than there are in prohibition countries. The Washington Post reported that drug overdoses are extremely rare in Portugal, and they have some of the lowest rates of addiction in the world. People have the impression that under drug legalization, things would just be out of control and drug addicts would be addicts everywhere, but this is not what actually happens. It is the opposite. Currently, under the state of prohibition that most of the world experiences, the treatment and help that addicts receive is severely limited, mostly to punishments. In an environment of prohibition, the strategy is punishment instead of the much more humane method of harm reduction, which has been shown to be a realistic and effective way of handling serious social problems like heroin addiction. The time of kidnapping and caging people for ingesting substances is coming to an end, but it cannot happen fast enough. How many more innocent lives must be ruined in this immoral, ineffective, and tyrannical fight before America wakes up to the horror that is the drug war?
County, this is Charlotte County COPWATCH, and I wanted to explain what fair use is. You can use pieces of news articles if you're doing it for news reporting, you have commentary, and you're doing it for education purposes. So that's what fair use is, as you can see right here. Another reason why I wanted to make this video is to let you know I have just joined with Patreon. A nice thing with Patreon, I make no money on YouTube. They took the money away years ago, and so this is another way to give, and it's a nice thing too because you can give monthly. You can give $1, $5, $10, whatever. I do 4 to 5 hours a day on trying to wake the sheeple up on how corrupt it is and different ways that you can fight the corruption. So Patreon is a way that you can do it, and then of course the old way is still there. Donate to Charlotte County COPWATCH with PayPal or credit card. So keep that in mind. 4 to 5 hours a day. I make no money, but the corruption happened to me and I'm sick of it, so I'm trying to wake people up. But my wife would love it if if we could get some help out there. There's 47,000 subscribers. Just think if each one of you subscribers just gave let's say actually yes, $1 a month. 47,000 subscribers gave $1 a month. That would be awesome. That's not going to happen. But anyways, that would be great if it did happen. But do the math in your head. Just think about it. Like I said, 4 to 5 hours a day. I get no money from YouTube. YouTube has gone nuts. You can't do anything anymore. They're taking the money away everywhere. So these are a couple different ways that you can still help out with all this time that I put in. And as you know, I'm in a special situation where at least I can do it. 4 to 5 hours a day. We have a cleaning company during the day. That's what allows me to do this, and we're debt free. So this is my hobby. I don't go fishing and all that other crap. I try to save the world. So help me out to make the wife happy, man. In fact, if you guys did give $1 a day, and there was 47,000 of you, and you did it, and each of you gave $1, and that was every month, oh my God, yes, I could quit. I could start suing them. Another idea too that we have is if I got some funds, we could actually contact everyone that has been ticketed and or arrested and put in jail and start sending them postcards to let them know we're here, and to see if everything went all right, and if it didn't, find out their story. So we could even do more investigations and more lawsuits. Lawsuits take money. So just think about that. 47,000 of you so far right now. $1 a day. $1 a month on Patreon, or $5 a month Patreon, 10, 20, whatever. Just do the math in your head, help out. This is a lot of work every single day. Thanks.